Everybody see a cube? Now, when you looked at this cube, you either would have seen it this way. How many of you saw it that way? Then the rest of you saw it this way? Right? You see it one way or the other. Okay. Now, tell me if this sounds right. When you looked at the cube, the information came through light, excited neurons in your eyes, relayed back to your brain. And when the information got to your brain decided how you would see the cube. Does that make sense to everyone? People don't usually look at this and see a bunch of black lines on a white background and say, I'll make it into a couple squares and I'll build it into a cube, right? It just pops out at you because a lot of things happen automatically in your nervous system. Okay. How many of you can change it to the other way? So just to give you a little bit of help, you can either see it this way or you can see it this way. So for those of you who changed it to the other way, anybody want to take a stab? Just shout it out if you've got an answer. How did you do it? How did you change it? You relaxed your focus? A lot of people do that sort of thing, or they look at a different spot, or they try to blur their vision. Tell me if this makes sense. If you could change it, the same information came through light again, excited the same neurons in your eyes again, relayed back to your brain just like before. Your brain said, this is how you're going to see the cube. You decided you wanted to see it this way, and you made it happen. Make sense? Your brain automatically said, this is how you see it. You decided to see it this way, and you made it happen. I have no idea how you do that. Nobody does. The same as if I ask you, what did you have for breakfast this morning? You probably can come up with the answer, I have no idea. Nobody knows how you did it. Right? If you decide to see the cube in a different way, you can make it happen. Now, one of the other interesting things about this is if you just gently stare at the red dot, so just try to sort of calm the focus, or don't really stare at this thing, what happens? It changes all by itself, eh? Okay, this is another way that the nervous system works. So when that happens, the nervous system is looking at the same information coming in from more than one point of view. Your nervous system has the ability to look at any information coming in from multiple perspectives or different points of view. That makes sense, right? I mean, you get that where someone says to you, I need your advice. And so they tell you the story and you say, oh, here's my advice. And then later on in the day, another bit of advice comes to you out of the blue because your nervous system can do that sort of thing for you. Okay? Now, why is this important? You may be wondering. A lot of people who have ongoing pain say that sometimes I'm sitting still, I am not stressed, I have not been moving all that much, and my pain goes from here up to here for no good reason. And if the pain gets worse for no reason, this is a very scary thing, because the typical idea that goes through our mind, or the thought process would be, the only thing that can make the pain get worse for no reason is a really terrible problem, right? Only a terrible thing could make it get worse for no reason. But here's the reason. The pain gets worse because your nervous system decided to look at it from a different point of view. Or you're attending to this, and all of a sudden your nervous system decides, I'm going to go and check and see how it feels. Right? And so people say, well, why would the nervous system do that? Once again, I don't know. Right? You know, I ask the nerves, they don't answer. Have any of you had a sore in your mouth before? What does your tongue do? It keeps checking it out, right? All automatically, and that's what's going on here. You're sitting there, the pain gets worse for no reason. It's not because you've got a terrible problem. It's because that's the way the nervous system works. It'll go check it out for you. So your brain decides in an instant how you see the cube, and the brain decides in an instant whether you will feel pain. Your brain decides this for you. Your nervous system, your pain can worsen just because your nervous system takes a closer look at it, just like we've just said. But the other really interesting thing about this is this question. If you can change the way your nervous system perceives the cube, can you change the way your nervous system perceives danger messages? It sort of sets you up, right? It's sort of hard to say no at this point, but this is what science says, right? This is another signal coming into the brain. You can change how your brain perceives information coming in. Now, it's harder to change how your brain perceives danger input because it's a higher priority, right? Visual input's a pretty high priority, but it's easier to change how your brain perceives visual input than it is danger input because danger input's a higher priority. So it means you can. And this is one of the big things I want to make sure you know. The number one of things that no one ever told you before is it's possible for you to change pain.